What's up, guys? Today we are back on our project ZJ. In the last ZJ video, we hinted a little bit about what we were going to be doing today. We're putting a bumper on this thing. We have a very nice winch that we got from Harbor Freight. We're super excited to put on the front of this thing, and we need some way of mounting it. So we've been looking for a cool front bumper. Took a really long time to find. We tried some of the buy the files and print it yourself locally. Surprisingly, there is nobody in Boulder area, Denver area. There's nobody in the Boulder or Denver area that would do that for a reasonable price. So we ended up paying like $1,500 for a bumper that we could have bought already welded for $1,000. What we did end up doing, it was going with a DIY weld it up yourself bumper. They cut everything out for you, they send it out, and then you put it together. That's what we're doing. We will put a link in the description for where we got this bumper from. If you guys like it, you can get your own. But the plan is, we're gonna pull the stock bumper off of the ZJ, and we're going to put together our weld them up bumper. So here's the pieces, and we're starting to put stuff together. A little bit of it is a bend it up. It comes with these slots, and you just bend them together and then you weld it. There's really good instructions. We're gonna go ahead and follow those. So follow along as we weld. We'll get this front bumper put together, show you every detail as we go. All right, guys, I'm Joel. This is Motors and Mischief. Today we're working on our project ZJ, putting a DIY winch bumper on it. Let's go. So we got the first part tacked together. Basically what we did is we took these side pieces, bent them all up, and then we just tacked them, and then we tacked in this top part here and got that into place. So what the instructions want you to do is tack both those side pieces, and then once we got those tacked into place, then they go down on the main part of the bumper here, and we'll tack all that in. Once that's good, we go ahead and fully weld it, and then we'll drop the winch plate in, and then the mounts and the D-ring holders, and then it'll be ready to test fit on the Jeep. So, all right, let's keep going. Alright guys, it is actually a day later, and we finished welding up the bumper for the most part, and we ground everything down. It's looking real good. The next thing we have to do is put this winch plate in, and that's hot because it just got welded. And then these D-rings go in, and then those are the brackets for the front of the Jeep, which I will show you here. We've pulled the bumper off the front of the Jeep, and this is where those mounts are going to go. We're going to have to do a little bit of Sawzall work right here, hence the Sawzall, and then we'll be able to mount in those brackets, and then the bumper will be able to go on. So we're first getting the winch plate welded in, and our Motors and Mischief welder is over there ready to go. And then once those are in place, we'll tack on the brackets, check the fit on the bumper, probably show you guys that. And then once everything looks good, we'll weld it all up, prime it, paint it, install it, winch is inside. All right, let's get to it. All right, guys, it is a couple days later. We have been working on this thing. We've got the bumper all welded up, got the brackets into place. We've got just a few more welds to do on it and get it completely finished up. It didn't really fit. It's a good kit. They got everything all cut for you, and that's nice. But the way the 45s and stuff go together, there's a little bit of play, adjustments, ways that you could do it that would seem perfectly good when you were putting it together and then wouldn't actually fit. Also, this Jeep is 25 years old. I don't think it is 100% perfectly square anymore. It's okay. We got a welder, we got a grinder, it all worked out. We got the Jeep all ready to go. We ended up, these are bolted through on the side here. And then there's another bracket, those right there, that are supposed to get bolted into right here. Due to some modifications that we made to the bumper, that is no longer possible, so we're just gonna weld those into place. If we ever have to take the bumper off permanently, then we'll grind those off, no big deal. So we'll be putting those brackets right here and right here, and then the other two that go into the frame, and then the brackets for the bumper themselves are the ones that are on the outside. We did have to notch the edges of the bumper here. We'll get that painted up. And over here, might even throw a little plate over the top of this just to be clean. It's definitely not necessary anymore from a structural standpoint, because this thing is no longer holding the Jeep's bumper. This is the bash bar right here. And you can see on the factory bumper, there's just a piece of styrofoam. There's no structure to that. It's all plastic and styrofoam. This is now going to have this welded steel bumper, so I'm not overly concerned about that thing holding the weight of it. It's all being transferred to the frame. So now if we hit something in the front that is hard enough to push the bumper's not going to bend the frame well, but that's the way it goes. Yeah, so none of this stuff is painted, as you sharp-eyed viewers will notice. We are still test fitting everything. We're going to get this all on and bolted into place and looking the way we want it. And then once that's good, we'll take all of it back off, prime and paint everything, and then we're going to get the winch into place. We did end up adjusting the bumper farther back than they necessarily wanted it to be. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get that winch to fit, because it's a little tight. So we'll get to that next. But first thing, get that bumper mounted, show you what that looks like. Then we'll get it painted. Then probably we'll fit the winch first, then we'll get it painted, and then we'll put the winch in. So, all right, let's get to that. All right, guys, a couple days later, and I got so caught up in building the bumper and getting it installed that I completely forgot to film it to show you guys it going on. So you don't get to see the bumper being mounted and us doing a little bit of cleanup work on it. But here it is, all mounted. And as you can see, it is currently covered in body filler. So the reason why we've done that is because we had some little bit of holes in the edge. We totally have filled those with the welder. And in fact, our welder wanted to do it that way, but it's an off-road bumper, and it's going to get actually taken off-road here in the Rocky Mountains and used. So I wasn't overly concerned about having a little bit of body filler on there, because it is just for the little tiny pinhead holes and stuff that we've got in where the welding wasn't absolutely perfect. I would say 90%, you can kind of see down in here, 90% of the fill is absolutely perfect. And we're going to be painting this body color, and we want it to look sharp and nice, so we're cleaning up seams with body filler. So right now we've got our filler on there. That is drying. We'll be sanding that off, and then I will show you guys once it's off there. You'll see how very little body filler is actually going to be on there. Then we'll be taking the bumper off once that's done and priming it and painting it. Be painting the brackets for the Jeep itself, and then we'll be reinstalling the bumper and putting the winch in. So a lot of steps in this, but hopefully you guys are as excited about it as we are. Next step, get all this Bondo sanded back off. It's not Bondo, it's like expensive body filler from Eastwood. We don't use Bondo here. All right, let's get to that. Good morning, guys. It is the next day. It is early in the morning. We are up pretty early. We got other stuff to do today, and this project's been taking a little while. We got to get it done. So we have got all of this filled and smoothed back out, so you can see we didn't end up using hardly any body filler at all, just to fill those larger porous holes. Nothing that's going to cause us any problems, but that will look good. And that's ready to go. So now the next thing we have to do, take everything back off, and then we got to paint it all, got to prime it, paint it, and then we will put it back on for the last time. Then we'll be able to drop the winch in. So we're going to go ahead and pull the bumper and we're gonna take it into, it's a little cold today, so we're taking it to the basement and we'll paint it down there, and then the whole house will stink like paint. My wife will be mad at me, but that's okay because we gotta get the bumper done. All right, let's take that off. All right, guys, bumper is all painted. It came out great. We're very pleased with it, and matches the color of the Jeep. Our winch is right there, and the way this bumper fits on with the old crash bar still there, there's no possible way to reach the winch. So once this is installed, so we're gonna have to go ahead and install that, which is unfortunate because the bumper's heavy and the winch is even heavier, so it'll make it a pain to get on, but that's what we got to do. So we're going to install the winch. We are blue Loctiting the bolts, and we'll be blue Loctiting the bolts on the bumper itself. So time to install that winch. All right, guys, that's it. Our new bumper is installed. Check that out. Man, it looks good. All right, guys, that is it. We got our brand new custom winch bumper installed, and it is awesome. I love it. We got a few more things to do. We got to figure out where we're going to move that evap canister to, so we don't rip it off. Also, it looks freaking stupid, but we wanted to move that anyway and get it up out of the way. We've got some ideas on where that's going to go. We've also got some lights that are going on this and a few other things. So make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss any of those. We've got lots of other videos, other Jeeps. We're doing a project Cheap Jeep Rubicon right now. Got tons of stuff, including our Raptor, dirt bikes, all kinds of cool things. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Again, hit that like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Peace.
Can't see.
All right, good morning, guys. It is the next day. Project's taking a few days. We're very tired. It's up. We're about it. Let's try that again.